As his lips drew closer, she turned her face away. It was an instinctive movement, a rejection she couldn't even understand herself. Ethan Sterling, the wealthiest man in the county, owner of 25 vineyard estates, with a fortune exceeding $800 million, had just been turned down by his housekeeper. But what neither of them expected was what came next, because when he, humiliated, reached out to touch her face and ask why, something happened. Something that defied all logic. Something that would change their lives forever. In the exact moment his skin touched hers, they both saw it. 1750, a colonial estate, a white wedding dress, and his eyes, but in another face. The same man, the same love, another life, and a promise made as she died in his arms. This story shouldn't exist, but it does, and it needs to be told. If you've ever felt an inexplicable connection with someone you just met, if you've ever rejected something out of fear without understanding why, if you've ever dreamed of places you've never visited and people you've never known, then what's coming next is going to shake everything you believe about love, destiny, and the connections between souls. Stay until the end, because the moment they both see the full vision of 1750 is something you'll never forget. It all began 6 months before that rejected kiss. Olivia Morales was 29 years old, a mother to a 4-year-old named Lily, and had absolutely nothing else in the world. She had fled from a man who abused her. She left her home with her child in her arms, and a bag with 2 changes of clothes, and no money, no family to help her, nowhere to go. She slept 3 nights on the street, 3 nights holding Lily against her chest, shielding her from the cold with her own body, begging God to give her a chance. And then, the advertisement appeared. Housekeeper wanted for Sterling Manor on the outskirts of town. Accommodation included. Olivia didn't hesitate. She called the number. A cold woman's voice asked if she had experience. She lied. She said she did. The voice gave her the address. When she arrived at the manor, she almost fainted. It wasn't a house. It was a palace. 21 rooms. Gardens that stretched as far as the eye could see. An 18th century private chapel on the grounds. Stables. An artificial lake. And behind it all, acres and acres of vineyards, producing the most expensive wine in the country. The property had belonged to the same family for generations, almost 300 years of history. And now, the last heir lived there alone. Ethan Sterling. Olivia didn't meet him that first day. She was interviewed by the housekeeper, a severe woman named Mrs. Hawthorne, who looked her up and down with obvious disapproval. But something strange happened when Olivia crossed the threshold of the front door. She felt a chill run down her spine, not from the cold, from recognition, as if her body knew something her mind couldn't comprehend. She looked at the high ceilings, the antique chandeliers, the portraits of people from centuries past on the walls, and had the strangest feeling of her life. She felt like she had been there before, which was impossible. She was born in a town 300 miles away. She had never set foot in this region until 3 days ago. She had never seen this manor, not even in pictures. But her body recognized this place. She ignored the feeling. She attributed it to exhaustion, to stress, to sleepless nights. She concentrated on the interview. She answered Mrs. Hawthorne's questions. She lied about her experience. She prayed internally that they would give her the job, and they did, not for her skills, obviously. Mrs. Hawthorne made that clear from the beginning. "I'm hiring you because no one else wants to work here," Mrs. Hawthorne said. "This manor has a reputation for being cursed. They say a woman died here almost 300 years ago, and her spirit still wanders the halls." Nonsense, of course. But people are superstitious. Olivia didn't care about superstitions. She cared about having a roof over her daughter's head. She accepted the job. She was assigned a small room in the service wing. Lily would have to stay there with her, but Mrs. Hawthorne reluctantly allowed it. And so, Olivia Morales, a single mother, a victim of domestic violence, a woman who had slept on the street less than a week ago, became a housekeeper at the oldest and most mysterious manor in the county. The first few days were exhausting. She cleaned from 6 in the morning until 9 at night. Floors that shone so brightly you could see your reflection. Windows that hadn't been washed in months. Antique furniture that gathered dust as if it wanted to disappear beneath it. And during those first few days, she didn't see the owner of the house even once. Ethan Sterling, they told her, spent most of his time in his study or traveling for business. He was a cold man, distant. He didn't speak to the staff unless it was strictly necessary. His wife had died 3 years ago in a car accident. Since then, he had shut himself off from the world. He didn't receive visitors. He didn't attend social events. He just worked. Olivia was curious about him, but she didn't dare ask too much. Her job was to clean, not to investigate her employer's life. But destiny, or whatever controls these things, had other plans. It was on her 5th night at the manor. Olivia had finished working late. Lily was already asleep in the room. She needed a glass of water, so she went down to the kitchen in silence, trying not to make any noise. The manor at night was a completely different place. During the day, sunlight streamed through the windows, making everything seem grand but welcoming. At night, shadows took over every corner. The portraits on the walls seemed to follow you with their eyes. The wind made the old timbers creak as if the house were breathing. Olivia walked quickly down the hallway, telling herself it was ridiculous to be afraid. She was 29 years old, not a child. But then, she saw him. At the end of the hallway, in front of a large portrait illuminated by the moonlight coming through a window, stood a man, with his back to her, motionless, looking at the painting as if it were the only thing that existed in the world. Olivia stopped. She held her breath. The man must have heard her, because he turned slowly. And when their eyes met, Olivia felt the floor disappear beneath her feet. It was him, Ethan Sterling, the owner of the manor. Tall, dark hair with some grey at the temples, strong jawline, eyes the color of honey, that shimmered in the darkness, as if lit from within. But it wasn't his appearance that froze her in place. It was the sensation. The same sensation of recognition she'd felt upon entering Sterling Manor for the very first time, but magnified 1,000 times. Olivia gazed at him and felt with an undeniable certainty that she knew this man, not from this life, from before. Ethan seemed to feel it too. His eyes widened slightly, his body tensed. For a moment that stretched into an eternity, neither of them moved, nor spoke. He was the one who broke the silence. "You're the new housekeeper." It wasn't a question. It was a statement. His voice was deep, controlled, but there was something beneath it, a tremor, almost imperceptible. "Yes, sir. Olivia Morales." He nodded slowly, not breaking eye contact. "What are you doing here at this hour?" "I came for water. I couldn't sleep." Ethan studied her for a few more seconds. Then, without another word, he turned and walked away down the hall. Olivia remained there, paralyzed, her heart pounding so loudly she could hear it in her ears. What had just happened, she didn't know. But something had changed. She could feel it in every cell of her body. That night, she didn't sleep. And when she finally closed her eyes at dawn, she dreamed of an ancient vineyard estate, a white dress, and honey-colored eyes that gazed at her as if she were the center of the universe. The following days were a torment for them both. Ethan began appearing in places where he normally wouldn't. The kitchen, when she was cleaning. The garden, when she was pruning the roses. the library, when she was dusting the books. Each time they met, something electric sparked between them. Glances that lingered too long, silences heavy with tension. Brief conversations that left them both with the feeling that they had said much more than the words conveyed. Olivia tried to ignore it. She repeated to herself all the reasons why this was a bad idea. He was her employer. She was his housekeeper. He was worth $800 million. She had nothing. He probably just wanted to use her. She had learned the hard way not to trust men. But there was something deeper than fear and logic. There was that persistent feeling that she knew him, that they had shared something before, that this, whatever it was bigger than both of them. And then there was Lily. The first time Ethan saw the little girl, his reaction was so intense that Olivia almost called 911. Lily was playing in the backyard, picking wildflowers. Ethan appeared on the path, walking distractedly, and almost tripped over her. When he looked down and saw the little girl, he turned pale, literally pale, as if he had seen a ghost. Lily looked up at him with those big eyes she had, smiled, and held out a flower. "For you." Ethan remained motionless for what seemed like minutes. His hands trembled. His breathing had become irregular. Finally, he took the flower with hands he could barely control. "Thank you." His voice sounded broken, as if he were about to cry. Olivia watched everything from the kitchen window. She didn't understand his reaction. It was just a little girl offering a flower. Why was he so affected that night? Ethan dined alone in the dining room, as always. But Mrs. Hawthorne told Olivia something that explained his reaction a little. "Mr. Sterling and his wife couldn't have children. They tried for years, called treatments, clinics, everything. Nothing worked. She died before they could adopt. I think seeing your daughter reminded him of what he lost." Olivia felt a pang of guilt. She hadn't thought about how Lily's presence might affect her employer, but she also felt something else, something she couldn't name, a connection between Ethan and her daughter that didn't make sense, as if Lily also recognized him, as if they, too, knew each other from before. The dreams continued. Every night, Olivia dreamed of the same thing: the vineyard estate, the white dress, the honey-colored eyes. But now there were more details. She saw a room with high ceilings and windows that overlooked fields of coffee. She saw her own hands, but younger, touching a grand piano. She saw a man who looked like Ethan, but dressed in clothes from another era, looking at her with absolute adoration. And always, always. The dream ended the same way: pain, a searing pain in her abdomen, blood, and his eyes were filled with tears, as she felt the life drain from her body. "You'll find me." Her own voice, but different, with an accent from another era. "Promise me, I'll find you, always." She woke up sweating, with tears in her eyes, not understanding why. She didn't tell anyone about the dreams. Who would believe her? They would probably think she was crazy. But the dreams were so vivid, being so real, as if they were memories instead of imaginings. Months passed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tension between Ethan and Olivia grew every day. The glances became more intense, the conversations longer, the physical distance between them smaller and smaller. Ethan was starting to find excuses to be near her. He asked her to bring coffee to his study, to read him the headlines from the newspaper, to accompany him to inspect the vineyards. Olivia knew she should keep her distance, but something stronger than her will was pushing her towards him. One night, at the end of the 5th month, Ethan found her in the library. She was cleaning the highest shelves, standing on a ladder. She didn't hear him enter. She only knew he was there when she turned around and saw him looking up at her with an expression she had never seen on his face. Vulnerability. Ethan Sterling, the Iceman, the multimillionaire who showed no emotions, was looking at her as if she were the answer to a question he had asked all his life. "Get down from there!" His voice sounded hoarse, almost pleading. Olivia climbed down. Her legs were trembling, but not from fear. When she reached the last step, he was there. So close that she could feel the heat of his body. So close that she could see the small lines around his eyes. So close that she could smell his cologne mixed with something deeper, more primitive. "I have to tell you something." Ethan spoke slowly, as if each word cost him an enormous effort. "From the first night I saw you, I haven't been able to stop thinking about you." Olivia didn't respond. She couldn't. Her heart was beating so loudly that she was sure he could hear it. "I don't know what this is," he continued. "I don't understand what's happening to me, but when I look at you, I feel like I know you, that I've known you always, that you've been a part of my life since before I was born." His words were exactly what she felt, but didn't dare to say. "Me too." Her voice came out as a whisper. "Ever since I arrived at this house, I feel like I've been here before. And when I saw you that night in the hallway, I felt like I knew you." Ethan took a step closer. His hands rose, hesitant, and grazed her arms. The contact was electric. Olivia felt a tingle that ran through her whole body. Not unpleasant, quite the opposite. As if her skin had been waiting for that touch for a very long time. "What's happening to us?" Ethan whispered the question, as if he expected her to have the answer. "I don't know." He looked at her for an eternal moment. His honey-colored eyes shone with an intensity that almost hurt. And then he leaned towards her, slowly, giving her time to move away, to say no, to end this before it even started. But Olivia didn't move. His lips drew closer to hers. They were centimeters away, millimeters away. Olivia could feel his breath, warm, mixed with a slight aroma of wine. Thus and then more in the last second, something took hold of her. Fear, panic, an overwhelming sensation that if she kissed him, everything would change, that there would be no turning back, that something would awaken that could never be put back to sleep. She turned her face. His lips brushed her cheek instead of her mouth. Ethan stopped. He stepped back. His expression went from anticipation to confusion, and then to something akin to pain. "I'm sorry," Olivia whispered, without looking at him. "I can't. You're my employer. I'm your employee. This is wrong." He didn't say anything for several seconds. When he spoke, his voice sounded controlled, cold, like the man she had met at the beginning. "You're right. It was inappropriate of me. It won't happen again." He turned to leave, but something stopped him. An invisible force, a compelling need to touch her once more, to understand what this connection was that was driving him crazy. He turned around. He reached out his hand. He touched her face. And in that moment, everything changed. The world dissolved around them. Olivia was no longer in the library. She was no longer Olivia. She was in another room, another time, another body. She was wearing a white dress with lace. A veil covered her hair, flowers in her hands, and in front of her, dressed in an 18th century formal suit, was him. The same man, the same honey-colored eyes, but with another name. Sebastian. The name came to her like a long-forgotten memory, and he was looking at her with so much love that it hurt. Isabella. His voice, but from centuries ago. My Isabella. Finally. The vision lasted only a second, maybe two, but it was enough. When Olivia came to, she was trembling so badly that she could barely stand. and Ethan was looking at her with an expression of pure terror, because he had seen it too. You saw it too. She could barely speak. The white dress, the vineyard estate, you and I. Ethan nodded. His face was pale. His hands were trembling just like hers. 1750. He whispered the date as if it were a curse. I saw you, in a wedding dress. I was there. I called you Isabella. Olivia felt her legs give way. She leaned on the bookshelf to keep from falling. What's happening? Her voice sounded desperate. Ethan, what's happening to us, Ghoul? He looked at her, and for the first time since they had met, there was something besides control in his eyes. There was fear, but there was also recognition. And beneath it all, very deep down, there was hope. I don't know. But we're going to find out. And that was the night that two souls separated by 273 years finally began to remember. The days following the vision were the most confusing of Olivia's life. During the day, she tried to act normal. She cleaned, she cooked, she took care of Lily. She did her job as if nothing had happened. But inside, her mind was a whirlwind. What she had seen couldn't be real. Reincarnations didn't exist. Visions of past lives were things from movies and fantasy books, not from real life. But she had seen it, as clearly as she saw her own hands now. The white dress, the vineyard estate, Ethan's eyes, but in another face, in another era, and the name he had whispered, Isabella. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw fragments of that other life, flashes of memories that weren't hers, but felt more real than anything she had ever lived. Coffee fields stretching to the horizon, the aroma of jasmine flowers in a colonial garden, laughter shared under a starry sky, and always, always, him, Sebastian. That was his name in that life. Don Sebastian Sterling, owner of the vineyard estate, heir to a fortune built on the coffee trade, and she was Isabella, daughter of a merchant, a woman who didn't belong to his social world, a woman he should never have married. But they did marry. Olivia didn't know how she knew it, but she knew it. They had married despite everything, despite the class differences, despite the scandal it caused in colonial society, despite the fact that his family threatened to disinherit him. They loved each other with an intensity that defied the conventions of their time. And then something terrible had happened, something that always ended the same in her dreams, with pain, with blood, with a promise whispered as life slipped from her body. You'll find me, Bas, promise me. I'll find you. Always. Ethan avoided her, since the night of the vision. He had barely seen her twice, and on both occasions. He had acted as if she were invisible. He had passed by her without looking at her, without speaking to her, as if she were just another piece of furniture in the house. At first, Olivia thought it was for the best. They needed distance, they needed time to process what had happened. But as the days turned into weeks, the distance began to hurt. Not in the way it hurts when someone rejects you, in a deeper way. As if a part of her knew that they should be together. As if the separation was unnatural. As if they were violating some fundamental cosmic law. She began to have trouble sleeping. She would wake up at 3 in the morning with her heart racing, searching for something she couldn't name. She would stare at the ceiling for hours, feeling an emptiness in her chest that nothing could fill. Lily noticed something was wrong. Mommy, why are you sad? I'm not sad, my love. Yes, you are. You have sad eyes. Olivia hugged her daughter tightly. Lily had always been perceptive, too perceptive for her age. It's the owner of the house, Lily continued, with that brutal innocence of children. You like him, don't you? And he likes you. I see it when he looks at you." Olivia was speechless. How could a 4-year-old child see what she had so desperately tried to hide? "Things are complicated, sweetie." "Why?" "Because..." Olivia searched for the right words. "Because sometimes people can't be together, even if they want to." "That's silly," Lily frowned. "If two people love each other, they should be together. That's how it works." If only it were that simple, Olivia thought. But it wasn't. There were too many barriers, too many reasons to keep her distance. He was her boss. She was his employee. He was rich. She was poor. He was a man with a reputation to uphold. She was a single mother who had fled an abusive husband. And then there was the matter of the visions. What did they mean? Were they real? Were they products of her imagination? Were they both going crazy? The questions haunted her, day and night. It was Mrs. Hawthorne who finally gave her a clue. One afternoon, while Olivia was cleaning the main drawing room, the housekeeper appeared, with an expression that wavered between curiosity and disapproval. "Mr. Sterling asked me to give you this." She extended an envelope. Olivia took it, her hands trembling slightly. It was an elegant envelope, of thick paper, with her name written in black ink. "What is it?" "I don't know. And I don't care." Mrs. Hawthorne glared at her. "But I'll warn you, girl. Mr. Ethan is not the man for you. He's rich, yeah, but he's also broken inside. Ever since his wife died, he hasn't been the same. Don't get your hopes up." Olivia didn't respond. She waited for Mrs. Hawthorne to leave before opening the envelope. Inside, there was a single sheet of paper, handwritten. "Olivia," it read, "I need to talk to you. Tonight, at 10 o'clock. In the 18th century private chapel in the garden. Please come alone. Ethan." The 18th century private chapel. Olivia had seen it from afar during her months at Stirling Manor. It was a small stone structure built in the 18th century. That was now closed to the public. Ethan never used it. No one used it. Why did he want to meet there? The rest of the day passed in a blur of anticipation and nerves. Olivia could barely concentrate on her work. Every time she looked at the clock, the hours seemed to move slower. At 9:30, she left Lily asleep in her room and headed out to the gardens. The night was cold. The full moon illuminated the stone path that snaked between the rose bushes. The wind made the leaves of the trees whisper as if they were telling secrets. The chapel appeared among the shadows, small but majestic, with its ivy-covered steeple and its stained glass windows. That glowed faintly with candlelight from within. Someone had lit candles inside. Olivia pushed open the wooden door. It creaked, as if it hadn't been opened in decades. The interior was more beautiful than she had imagined. Dark wooden pews, a simple but elegant altar, stained glass windows that told biblical stories, with colors that, even at night, seemed to vibrate with a life of their own. And there, standing in front of the altar, was Ethan. He was dressed in black, as always. But there was something different about him tonight, a vulnerability that he hadn't shown before, an openness. "You came." His voice sounded relieved, almost surprised. "Your note didn't leave me much choice." A fleeting smile crossed his lips, the first genuine smile that Olivia had seen from him. "I'm sorry for the last few weeks," he said. "I know I've been avoiding you. I needed time to think." "I understand." "No," he shook his head. "I don't think you do. It's not that I don't want to see you. It's that every time I do see you, the visions return. And I didn't know how to handle them." Olivia took a few steps toward him. "The same thing happens to me," she confessed. Every time I close my eyes, I see fragments of that other life. The white dress, the vineyard estate, you and I. Ethan looked at her with an intensity that almost made her recoil. I called you here because I discovered something, he said. Something you need to see. He turned and walked toward a side door that Olivia hadn't noticed. He opened it and motioned for her to follow him. Behind the door was a staircase leading down, narrow, illuminated by candles placed in niches in the wall. What's down there? The Sterling family crypt. Ethan began to descend. My ancestors have been buried here for almost 300 years. Olivia followed him, her heart beating faster and faster. The crypt was exactly what one would expect. Cold, damp, with niches in the walls that contained ancient coffins, names and dates engraved on tarnished bronze plaques. But Ethan didn't stop there. He led her to the back of the crypt, where there was a separate section, older, with inscriptions in an archaic language that Olivia could barely read. Here. Ethan stopped in front of a double tomb. Read the names. Olivia approached. The candlelight that Ethan held illuminated the inscriptions, and the air escaped her lungs. Don Sebastian Sterling, 1720-1795. Donna Isabella Sterling, born Morales, 1725-1751. Morales, her last name, the same last name. Olivia looked at Ethan, her eyes wide. It's a coincidence, she whispered. It has to be. Morales is a common name. That's what I thought too. Ethan reached into his pocket and pulled something out, until I found this. It was a medallion, ancient, of gold. Blackened by time. Ethan opened it. Inside, there were two miniature portraits. One of a man, one of a woman. Olivia looked at them, and the world stood still. The man in the portrait was Ethan, not someone who resembled him. It was him, the same hazel eyes, the same strong jawline, the same bearing. And the woman in the portrait was her. Olivia saw her own face, staring back at her, from a portrait 273 years old. How is this possible? Her voice sounded distant, detached, as if it were coming from far away. I don't know. Ethan closed the medallion. I found this on the porch of my room 3 days ago. I'd never seen it before. It's been there my whole life without me knowing it existed. And when I opened it and saw the portrait, he didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Olivia understood. He had also seen the impossible. He had also recognized the faces. There's more. Ethan put the medallion away and pulled out a folded piece of paper. I found this along with the medallion. It's a letter from Don Sebastian to Donna Isabella. He extended the paper to her. Olivia took it with trembling hands. The paper was fragile, yellowed. The letters faded, but still legible. My beloved Isabella, she began to read aloud, tears already forming in her eyes. If you are reading this, it means that fate has separated us again. But I want you to know that I will search for you. In every life, in every era, in every corner of time, my soul will recognize yours. And when I find you, there will be no barrier that can keep us apart. Not death, not time, not the differences the world imposes. Because you and I are one. We always have been. We always will be. You, Sebastian. Tears streamed freely down Olivia's cheeks now. It couldn't be real. But there it was. In her hands. A 273-year-old letter that spoke of exactly what she and Ethan were experiencing. Souls seeking each other through time. Promises that transcended death. And now, against all logic, against all probability, the two of them were here, in the same crypt where their past selves rested, reading the words he had written for her almost 3 centuries ago. Ethan took a step toward her. I don't know what all this means. His voice trembled. I don't know if it's real or if we're crazy, but what I do know is what I feel when I look at you. What do you feel? Olivia whispered. That I've been looking for you my entire life, even when I didn't know I was looking for you. And when I saw you that first night in the hallway, something inside me knew that I'd finally found you. Olivia closed her eyes. The visions returned, but this time they weren't confused fragments. They were memories, clear as crystal. She saw Sebastian and Isabella at their wedding, in the 18th century private chapel that was right above their heads. He looked at her as if she were the only woman in the world. She wept with happiness. She saw nights of passion in a room with windows that overlooked the coffee fields, laughter, whispers, promises of eternal love. She saw the day they discovered she was pregnant, his joy, her fear mixed with happiness, and she saw the end, the childbirth that went wrong, the hemorrhage that the doctors of the time couldn't stop. Life escaping her body while he held her hand and wept. You will find me. Promise me. I will find you. Always. Olivia opened her eyes. Ethan was looking at her with the same expression that Sebastian had worn on that last night in 1751. Love, pain, desperation, and hope. I found you. Olivia whispered the words like a prayer. After 273 years, you found me. Ethan raised his hand and touched her face. There was no vision this time, just the absolute certainty that this was real, that they were real, that the love they felt had survived death, time, and all the lives they had lived between then and now. You rejected me when I tried to kiss you. Ethan spoke softly. You were afraid. I was afraid of what it meant, of how big it was, of losing it all again. You're not going to lose me. He brought his face closer to hers. Not this time. I promise. Their lips met. And in that kiss, 273 years of separation finally came to an end. But the story didn't end there, because there were still secrets to be discovered. Secrets about the birthmark that Olivia had on her left shoulder. Secrets about Lily. And secrets about what really happened the night Isabella died in 1751. Secrets that would change everything they thought they knew about their past lives, and about the lives they were living now. What came after the kiss changed everything. Ethan and Olivia walked out of the crypt hand in hand. There were no more doubts, no more fears, only the certainty that they had found what their souls had been searching for almost 3 centuries. But the universe, or fate, or whatever controlled their lives, still had surprises in store. Surprises that began to unfold the next morning. Olivia woke up in her small room in the servants' wing with a strange feeling. She hadn't slept with Ethan. They weren't ready for that yet. But she had dreamed about him, about them, about Sebastian and Isabella. But this dream was different. It wasn't the dream of the white dress. It wasn't the dream of childbirth and death. It was a dream of the aftermath. She had seen Sebastian, alone, in the room where Isabella had died. He held a baby in his arms, a baby that was crying. And Sebastian was crying too. It's all I have left of you, he had whispered to the baby. But I swear to you, Isabella, that I will take care of her. I will love her as I loved you. And when the time comes, when our souls meet again, she will be there. Our daughter, our blood, our love made life. Olivia woke up with tears in her eyes. The baby had survived. In 1751, when Isabella died in childbirth, the baby had survived. A girl. She looked at Lily, who was sleeping peacefully beside her, and felt a chill run down her spine. It couldn't be. It was impossible. But the feeling wouldn't leave her. She got up silently, trying not to wake her daughter, and went to the bathroom to wash her face. The cold water helped her think more clearly. You're being ridiculous, and she told herself. Lily is your daughter. You had her. You carried her for 9 months. You gave birth to her in a modern hospital. There's no connection to a baby from 1751. But as she dried her face, she noticed something she had never noticed before. In the mirror, her reflection showed her left shoulder, and there on the upper part was the birthmark she had had forever. A mark in the shape of a rose, small, delicate, of a color slightly darker than the rest of her skin. She had never paid attention to it. It was just a birthmark. Millions of people had birthmarks. But now, in light of everything she had discovered, the mark seemed different. It seemed significant. She went down to breakfast with her mind full of questions. Ethan was already in the dining room when she arrived. He looked at her with a smile that made her heart leap. "Good morning. Good morning. I want to show you something." He stood up and held out his hand. "Come with me." He led her through hallways that she knew from cleaning them day after day, but that now seemed different, laden with history, with memories that weren't hers but that felt like her own. Finally, they arrived at a room on the 3rd floor that she had never cleaned. "It's my private study," Ethan explained as he opened the door. "No one comes in here except me." The interior was exactly what you'd expect from the study of a millionaire obsessed with his family's history. Shelves full of old books, framed maps on the walls, a dark wood desk full of documents, and in one corner a table covered with objects that looked centuries old. But what Ethan wanted to show her wasn't on the table. It was on the wall, a large portrait, bigger than any other she had seen in Sterling Manor. "I found it this morning," Ethan said quietly. "It was in the attic, covered by a sheet. I've never seen it before, but look." Olivia stared, and for the 3rd time in the last 24 hours. The world stopped. The portrait showed 2 people, a man and a woman, Ethan and Lily. But that wasn't what took her breath away. What took her breath away was what Lily was holding in her arms in the portrait. A baby. And on the baby's left shoulder, clearly visible thanks to the skill of the painter, there was a birthmark in the shape of a rose, identical to the one Olivia had on her own shoulder. She touched the mark instinctively. "How is that possible?" "I don't know," Ethan said, drawing closer to her. "But there's more." "What more can there be?" He looked at her with an expression that mixed awe and fear. "This portrait was painted in 1750, a year before Lily died." Olivia processed the information. "So, the baby in the portrait isn't the one who died with her?" "No," Ethan shook his head. "The baby in the portrait is the one who survived. The one Ethan raised alone after Lily died, giving birth to their 2nd child. 2nd child. Olivia felt her knees weaken. Lily had 2 children. 2 pregnancies. The first, a girl born healthy and who had a birthmark in the shape of a rose. The second, a pregnancy that ended in tragedy, that killed Lily. But the baby also survived. There are records in the family archives." Ethan walked towards his desk and picked up a yellow document. "I found them an hour ago. Look." Olivia took the document with trembling hands. It was a birth certificate, ancient, handwritten with faded ink. "Maria Isabella Sterling, born on the 20th of March, 1749. Daughter of Ethan Sterling and Lily Hawthorne Sterling. The first daughter, the one in the portrait, the one with the birthmark in the shape of a rose." And below, another certificate. "Santiago Ethan Sterling, born on the 15th of September, 1751, son of Ethan Sterling and Lily Hawthorne Sterling. Mother deceased in childbirth." Santiago. The baby who survived when Lily died. Olivia looked at Ethan. "Your ancestors?" Ethan nodded. "I am a direct descendant of Ethan and Lily. Through Santiago, the baby who survived. The line was never broken." Olivia looked back at the first certificate. "And Maria Isabella? What happened to her?" Ethan sighed. "That's what I haven't been able to find yet. The records become confusing after 1770. It's like she disappeared. But she lived. Olivia looked at the portrait again. The birthmark on the baby's shoulder stared back at her like an echo from the past. She lived long enough to be painted when she was a year old. Yes. Ethan came closer and put a hand on her shoulder. The left one. Exactly where she has the mark. You have the same mark. It wasn't a question. Olivia nodded. Since I was born. Ethan gently turned her to face him. What does this mean, Olivia? What does any of this mean? She had no answer, but something inside her, something deeper than logic and reason, something that came from a place she couldn't name, whispered a possibility so crazy she didn't dare say it aloud. She was interrupted by a sound coming from the hallway. Small steps. Running. And then the door to the study burst open. Lily. The little girl came running in, with an enormous smile on her face. Mommy, Beepy, Mommy, I found something. Olivia crouched down to be at her daughter's level. What did you find, my love? Lily opened her tiny hand, and Olivia felt her heart stop. In her daughter's palm was a ring, ancient, gold, with a red stone in the center, and engraved on the inside, barely visible due to the wear of time, were two names, E and L, Ethan and Lily. Where did you find this? In the garden, Lily smiled. It was shining under a tree, the big tree with the white flowers. Ethan came closer. The jasmine tree. His voice sounded strange. That tree is almost 300 years old. Ethan planted it for Lily when they got married. Olivia looked at the ring, then she looked at her daughter, and then she noticed something she had never noticed before. On Lily's left shoulder, just under the sleeve of her t-shirt, there was a mark. Small, delicate, in the shape of a rose. Lily. Olivia's voice sounded like a whisper. Where did you get that mark on your shoulder? Lily looked at her, confused. What mark? This. Olivia pulled down the sleeve of her daughter's t-shirt, and there it was, identical to hers, identical to the one in the portrait of Maria Isabella Sterling, identical to that of a baby who had been born 276 years ago. I've always had it. Lily shrugged with that indifference that only children can have in the face of the extraordinary. Like you, Mommy. We're the same. Olivia looked at Ethan. Ethan was looking at her with an expression of pure awe. It's her, he whispered. The daughter. The first daughter of Ethan and Lily. Maria Isabella. It can't be. Look at the mark. Look at the ring she found. Look at where she found it. Ethan knelt down in front of Lily. And look at me. I felt it from the first moment I saw her. When she gave me that flower in the garden, I felt like I knew her, that she was part of me. Lily looked at him with those big eyes she had. I know you too, she said with that brutal frankness of children. I know you from before, from when you were different, but the same. Ethan felt tears welling up in his eyes. What was I like before? Lily tilted her head, thinking. You had longer hair, and you wore weird clothes, and you called me something else. What did I call you? Lily closed her eyes, as if she were searching for something in her memory. Maria, she said finally. You called me Maria, and you called me my little Rose. Ethan fell to his knees, because that was exactly what Ethan called his daughter in the letters he had found. Letters that Lily had never seen, letters that no one had seen in 200 years. My little Rose. Olivia knelt down beside Ethan. There they were, on the floor of the study. The millionaire, the employee, and the 4-year-old girl. 3 souls who had been together almost 3 centuries ago. Ethan, Lily, and Maria. Reunited again, across time, across death, across everything. She's our daughter. Ethan whispered the words as if he still couldn't believe them. Our daughter from 1749, our Maria. Lily smiled. I always knew we'd find each other, she said with a calmness that did not correspond to her 4 years. I always knew. Olivia hugged her, and in that embrace, 2 centuries of separation finally healed. But a question still remained unanswered, a question that would change everything. What really happened the night Isabella died, and why had Sebastian vowed to find her in every lifetime? The answer arrived that very night, in the most unexpected way possible. Ethan had decided that Olivia and Lily wouldn't spend another night in the converted servants' quarters. He gave them a suite on the 2nd floor, a suite that, according to family records, had been Sebastian and Isabella's room. That night, as Lily slept in one of the beds and Olivia prepared for sleep in the other, something happened. The air in the room changed. It became thicker, more charged. And then, Olivia felt a presence. She couldn't see it, but she could feel it, like an invisible embrace, like the scent of jasmine flowers that weren't there, like a voice whispering from far away. Isabella. Olivia froze. The voice didn't come from any specific place. It came from everywhere and nowhere. Isabella. My love. It was Sebastian's voice. Not the Ethan she knew, but the original Sebastian. The man from 1751. You can hear me. Olivia closed her eyes. And then, the vision struck her with a force that nearly knocked her off her feet. She was no longer in the modern room. She was in the same room. But 273 years earlier, the walls were the same. The high ceilings were the same. The windows overlooking the garden were the same, but everything was different. There were candles instead of electric lamps, furniture from another era, scents of another age, and on the bed, a woman. A woman who looked exactly like Olivia, Isabella. She was pale, sweating, breathing heavily, and her belly, huge and round, contracted with each wave of pain. Labor had begun. Beside her, holding her hand, was Sebastian, identical to Ethan. The same honey-colored eyes, the same strong jaw, the same absolute devotion in his gaze. You're going to be all right, my love, he whispered. Everything's going to be all right. But everything was not going to be all right. Olivia knew it. She had seen this moment in her dreams dozens of times. What she hadn't seen was what came after. The next few hours were a blur of pain, blood, and screams. The doctors of the time did what they could, but it wasn't enough. The baby was born. A boy. Santiago. Healthy. But Isabella was dying. The bleeding was unstoppable. Sebastian held her as life slipped from her body. Don't leave me, he begged. Please, Isabella, don't leave me. But she knew there was no choice. Her body was failing. Her time was running out. But there was something she had to tell him before she left. Sebastian. Her voice was barely a whisper. Listen to me. I'm here. My love. I'm here. Promise me something. Anything. Isabella raised a trembling hand and touched his face. I will return, she whispered. I don't know when. I don't know how. But I will return. My soul will find you. Sebastian wept. And I will find you, he promised her. In every lifetime. In every era. I will search for you until the end of time. Take care of our children. Love Maria. Love Santiago. They are our blood. Our love made life. I will. And when our souls meet again, Sebastian, remind me of something. What? Isabella smiled, a smile full of love despite the pain. That the first time you try to kiss me, I'll probably reject you. Why? Because I'll be scared. Because the love we feel is too great. But don't give up. Insist. Because even if my mind doesn't remember, my soul will know. Sebastian laughed through his tears. I will insist. I promise you. And one more thing. Tell me. Maria has the mark. The rose birthmark that I had when I was born. That mark is our signal. When you find me, look for the mark. On me, or on our daughter. The mark will tell you it's us. Sebastian kissed her forehead. I will find you, Isabella. I swear it on my life. I will wait for you, Sebastian. I swear it on my soul. And with those words, Isabella Herrera de Montero closed her eyes for the last time. But it wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of a 273-year wait. Olivia opened her eyes. She was back in the modern room. Tears streamed down her face. Now she understood everything. The birthmark, the initial rejection of the kiss, the instant connection, Lily. Everything made sense. Isabella had left clues, signals, markers through time so that Sebastian could find her when their souls finally reunited. And they had succeeded. After 273 years, against all odds, they had succeeded. Olivia looked at Lily, who slept peacefully. She had been Isabella. Now she was Olivia. And Lily had been Maria. 3 souls, 1 family. Separated by death, reunited by love. The door to the room opened softly. Ethan came in. I can't sleep, he said. I feel like... I saw it, Olivia interrupted him. I saw the night she died. I saw the promise you made. I saw everything. Ethan approached her. Me too, he whispered. I was in my room and suddenly I was there, holding her while. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. You promised her you would insist, Olivia continued, even if she rejected you the first time. Ethan smiled through his tears. And I did. The rose mark. It's the signal. I know. And Lily is Maria. Our Maria. Ethan looked at the sleeping child. I knew it from the first moment I saw her. When she gave me that flower, I felt like she was mine. Not like the daughter of someone I like my daughter. Of my blood. Of my soul. Because she is. Olivia got up and walked towards him. 273 years, me. 273 year. And finally, we found each other. Finally. They embraced. And in that embrace, 2 centuries of separation, of searching, of promises whispered on deathbeds, finally came to their conclusion. But there was still something to be done. Something that would complete the circle. Something that would seal the destiny of these 3 souls forever. Ethan's announcement shook the region's high society, a week after that night of revelations. Ethan called a press conference in the gardens of Stirling Manor. Journalists, cameras, microphones, all there, awaiting the announcement of the region's most powerful businessman. No one was prepared for what they heard. I want to introduce you to my fiancée, Ethan said in a clear and firm voice. Olivia Morales. A murmur of shock ran through the crowd. Olivia Morales, the housekeeper, the woman who scrubbed floors and washed windows, the single mother who arrived at Stirling Manor with nothing but a bag of clothes and a 4-year-old daughter. And now, the future wife of the richest man in the county. I also want to introduce my daughter, Ethan continued. Lily Stirling Morales. The reporters exchanged confused glances. His daughter. But the little girl, was Olivia's daughter. How could she possibly be Ethan's? The explanation wasn't simple, and Ethan didn't offer one. He simply took Lily's hand in one of his, and Olivia's in the other, and looked at the cameras with the same defiant gaze that Sebastian had held 273 years ago, when he announced his marriage to a woman who didn't belong to his social class. The rumors spread like wildfire. The cleaning lady who seduced the millionaire, the gold digger who snared the lonely widower, the woman who used her daughter to climb the social ladder. None of the theories came close to the truth, because the truth was something that no one would believe. Two soulmates reunited after 273 years. A daughter who had been a daughter in another life. A promise made on a deathbed, fulfilled across time. Ethan didn't try to explain. He didn't care what they thought. All that mattered to him was that he had finally found the people he had been searching for his entire life. This entire life, and all the previous ones. The wedding took place 3 months later. In the 18th century private chapel in the garden, the same chapel where Sebastian and Isabella had married in 1748, Olivia walked down the aisle in a white dress she had found in a trunk in the attic of Stirling Manor, a dress that had belonged to Isabella, a 275-year-old dress that fit her as if it had been made for her. Because, in a way, it had been. Ethan waited for her in front of the altar, and as the pastor spoke the words that would unite them as husband and wife, both felt something, a presence. Two presences, Sebastian and Isabella, watching from somewhere beyond time, finally seeing the promise they had made on that night in 1751 fulfilled. "I found you," Ethan whispered, as he slipped the ring on Olivia's finger. The same ring that Lily had found beneath the jasmine tree, Sebastian and Isabella's ring, with the initials S and I engraved on the inside. "You always knew where to look," Olivia replied, with tears in her eyes. Lily, dressed in white like a little princess, held the rings on a velvet cushion. When the pastor asked if anyone had any objections, the little girl stepped forward. "I have something to say." The congregation held its breath. Lily looked at Ethan and Olivia with those eyes that were too old for her 4-year-old face. "I pronounced you husband and wife 276 years ago," she said. "You don't need anyone else to do it again, but I'm glad you finally found each other." No one understood what the little girl meant, except Ethan and Olivia, because they knew that Maria Isabella Montero Herrera had been the flower girl at the original wedding of Sebastian and Isabella. And now, 276 years later, she was at her parents' wedding again, completing the cycle, closing the circle. The reception was held in the gardens of Stirling Manor, the same lands that had been fields generations ago. As the guests danced and toasted, Ethan led Olivia and Lily to a secluded spot in the garden. The jasmine tree. The tree that Sebastian had planted for Isabella when they married. It still bore white flowers. It still perfumed the air with that scent that Olivia had smelled in her visions. "This is where it all began," Ethan said. "Sebastian planted this tree as a symbol of his love." "And this is where Lily found the ring," Olivia added. Lily walked to the trunk of the tree and put her small hand on the bark. "I planted it with you," she said, looking at Ethan. "A long time ago. You let me throw in the last handful of soil." Ethan felt a lump in his throat. "You remember?" Lily nodded. "I remember everything. Mommy's dress, how the flowers smelled, how you held me in your arms when there were storms because I was scared. I remember the night Mommy died, and how you cried and promised me you'd find her." Tears streamed down Ethan's face. "And I found her," Lily smiled. "I know. I always knew you would." Olivia knelt beside her daughter. "You were looking for us too." Lily looked at her with those eyes that held memories of centuries. "Mommy told me, before she died, that we would find each other again, that true love always finds a way, and that I would be there when it happened, because I am the proof that your love existed, that it was real, that it created life. Olivia hugged her daughter of this life, her daughter of that life, her daughter through time. Years passed. Lily grew up. She no longer spoke of memories of other lives. Over time, the memories of Maria Isabella Montero Herrera faded, replaced by the experiences of Lily Sterling Morales. But some things remained. Her instinctive love for the piano, even though she never took lessons. Her ability to know exactly where things were in Sterling Manor, even though she had never seen them before. And the birthmark on her left shoulder. The rose that never disappeared. Ethan and Olivia had 2 more children, a boy and a girl. The boy was named James. The girl was named Isabella. Because some names deserve to be repeated. Some loves deserve to continue. And some stories deserve to be told, again and again and through generations. 20 years after the wedding, Ethan and Olivia were sitting in the same garden where it had all begun. The jasmine tree still bloomed, its white flowers perfuming the air in the same way they had 300 years ago. "You're thinking about them?" Olivia asked. Ethan nodded. "I always think about them. About Sebastian and Isabella. About the life they had. About the love they shared. About the promise they made. Do you think they're at peace? Do you think they know we fulfilled the promise?" Ethan looked at her. "I think they are us, and we are them. There is no separation. There never was. Just different moments of the same love." Olivia rested her head on his shoulder. "Sometimes I still dream about that life. About the vineyard estate. About the fields. About the night I died." Ethan held her close. "But it doesn't hurt anymore, does it?" "No, it doesn't hurt anymore. Because now I know how the story ends. How it ends." Olivia smiled. "It ends with us. Here. Now. Together. As it always should have been." Ethan kissed her forehead. "As it always will be. Because some promises cannot be broken. Not even by death. Not even by time. Not even by 273 years of separation. And if you're listening to this story, if you felt something while listening, if there were moments that made you remember connections you can't explain, people you met and felt you already knew, places you visited and felt you'd already been, then I want you to know something. You're not crazy. You're not imagining it. True love exists. Soulmates exist. And sometimes, just sometimes, the promises we make in one life are fulfilled in another. Olivia rejected Ethan's kiss that night in the library, and it was the best thing she could have done, because that rejection awakened something. It awakened the memories, awakened the visions, awakened the truth that had been dormant for almost 3 centuries. If she had accepted the kiss, it would have been just a moment of passion. But by rejecting it, she unleashed something much bigger. She unleashed the reunion of 2 souls who had promised to find each other. She unleashed the reunion of a family that had been separated by death. She unleashed the confirmation that love, true love, never dies. It just waits. And when it finally reunites, it's stronger than anything the universe can throw in its path. Ethan and Olivia lived happily. Not perfectly, not without problems, but happy. Because when you've searched for someone for 273 years, when you finally find them, you don't waste a single day on things that don't matter. Lily grew up and got married. She had children of her own, and one day, when her first child was born, she noticed something on the baby's left shoulder. A mark, small, delicate, in the shape of a rose, and she knew that the circle continued, that Sebastian and Isabella's love lived on, in each generation, in each life, in each birthmark that appeared on the shoulders of their descendants, as a reminder that some stories never end. They only transform, they only continue, they only wait to be told again. And now that you've heard this story, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt an inexplicable connection with someone you just met? Have you had dreams of places you've never visited? Have you recognized faces you've never seen before? If the answer is yes, then maybe, just maybe, you also have a story like this. A story of souls searching for each other, of promises waiting to be fulfilled, of loves that transcend time. And if that's the case, don't be afraid. Don't reject what you feel. Because the universe has mysterious ways of bringing together the people who are meant to be together. And sometimes, a rejected kiss is just the beginning of the greatest story of your life, like it was for Ethan and Olivia, like it was for Sebastian and Isabella, like it could be for you. If this story touched your heart, if it made you think of someone, if it awakened something inside you that you didn't know was there, I want you to do something. Comment below. Tell your story. Tell about that inexplicable connection you felt with someone. Because every time we share these experiences, we validate that we're not crazy, that these things happen, that true love, love that transcends time and death, is real. And who knows? Maybe the person who is destined to find you will read your comment. Maybe this story is the first step towards your own reunion, because that's what true love stories do. They don't just entertain, they connect, they inspire, and sometimes, just sometimes, they change lives. Like it changed the life of a housekeeper who rejected a kiss and ended up finding the love of all her lives